All right. So I'm live right now. If everybody can see me, just put in the chat box. I'm wearing a tank top because this is what I usually wear when I trade. And futures are up today. We see the futures up about 10 points. This will be recorded. Oh, I have to share, do a different screen. Hold on a second. All right. So we have live flow that we're looking at here. Futures were down last night too, so the market is coming back a little bit. Futures were down about 10 points. They have now come back. How's everybody doing today? If you want to write something in the chat, go ahead and write something in the chat. If you have any questions throughout the course of the time we are here together, just let me know. Otherwise, I will just trade. Morning. How's everybody doing? AK in the house. Opening bell here in about 2 minutes here. As we can see here, futures are higher today. And we were down overnight. Last night the futures were down about 19.5 points. So one thing I always look at here is the S&P 500 futures. That is known as the S&P or the futures. 5773.50. That is where we are currently trading right now. And the futures are up 11.5 points here. So we can see here the futures are higher today. If you have any questions at all, just put it in the chat box. Other than that, I always have positions on. I have long positions on. I have short positions on. My biggest dollar amount risk position is MSM. That is my biggest dollar amount risk position. If the market pulls back, I would be looking to get long some other names. And we'll see what happens today. Dilo. I'm going to have the live flow on throughout the day. That's how I trade. I watch order flow in the option market. I truly believe the only way to make money in the long term for a retail trader is to watch institutional order flow in the option market. Okay. So I think that's the only way you can make money is to watch this order flow. I'm not a big technical trader. I've almost back tested everything in history, and there hasn't been any strategies that work over time. If Apple's up on a Friday, what's the odds it's up from Monday to Friday the next week? 50-50. If Apple's up on a Monday, what's the odds it's up from Tuesday to Friday? 50-50. I've done some back testing. Well, I haven't, but my program has done some back testing in S&P strategies. And like I said, I think the only way to make money as a retail trader is to watch order flow in the derivative space. So watch the biggest and best traders in the world, place and allocated capital on certain trades. And like I said, I just mimic their position. Everything I trade is real money, 100%, my own money. And I do trade in real time live. So what a lot of people do, on YouTube, on Instagram, they'll have what they're called split accounts. So they'll get long in one account, they'll get short in another account, and then they'll shoot a video how they knew that the stock was going to go their direction. But I knew it was going to go down. MSM up 6 cents, stats higher, HIMS higher, Uber up $1.50, CHDN unchanged, SRS higher, day higher. So what we'll do, guys, we'll just watch the order flow and I'll react to the order flow. If I wanted to, I could get rid of the sell side. I could get rid of ETFs. I can get rid of spreads. And I can get rid of puts if I wanted to. So that is just the orders that we've seen so far today. MSN, that was a signal from Friday. These are the OC 95s. I got into those at, I have to make sure I'm in the right account. Where is my position? There it is. It's my biggest dollar amount position is MSM. Michael Sam Mary is my biggest dollar amount risk position. HIMS higher, DraftKings higher today. We see some DKNG calls trading here. Ooh, GKNG starting to move higher here. I'm going to offer half of these out at 30. I paid 19 for those. DraftKings up 77 cents. I can get 36 for them. I'm going to sell some for 36. Sold some for 36. Ooh, DraftKings starting to move up here. Sold some at 42. DraftKings on fire, guys. So hitting profits in DraftKings. This was not an official signal, but DraftKings, guys, this is not official signal. I'm selling the 9/27, 2024, 41 and a half calls for 35 and 42. I paid 19 and 28 here. DraftKings, guys. Taking a profit target here in DraftKings, guys. Taking a profit target in DraftKings, guys. Taking a profit target here in the DraftKings. So out of DraftKings, if I wanted to, I could remove that from my radar. DraftKings taking profit targets. Selling some DraftKings this week, 41 and a halves. I'm selling them for 35, and I sold them at 42. I was into those at 19, and I was into those at 28. So profits here in DraftKings. Profits here in DraftKings. DLO, Nova 11s. I'm going to go 10-cent bid for these. This would be a signal if I do get filled in DLO. So this is a bid I'm putting in the market, guys. So DLO. So DLO, 11, 15, 2024. 11 calls for 10 cents. So DLO, guys, I'm putting a bid in the market in DLO. DLO, November calls. I'm putting a bid here. That would be a signal. If I get filled, I am not filled just yet. Marvell down 67 cents. Those are probably going to go to zero. FLNC, I was going to go bid for those. So FLNC, I'm going to go 80 bid on these. So taking off some DraftKings for profits, guys. Taking off DraftKings for profits. Ooh. That's right. I can't buy 6,000 of these. So I'm going to put an 80 bid in. So these are going to be FLNC. So I am bid for FLNC, 11/15, 2024, 25 calls for 80 cents. Target would be 120. So FLNC, guys, FLNC. MSM starting to move higher here. I have a target 105. It's my biggest dollar amount risk position. Stock's up 76 cents here. And MSN, guys, MSN stock's up. It's traded 7,000 shares. P&L is higher today. DraftKings, nice profits today. CRC is higher. Siri higher. So just being patient, waiting for an opportunity. I sold DraftKings calls, guys. I sold DraftKings calls. I'm taking profits in DraftKings. I'm about $260 today in DraftKings. That was not an official signal, but that was a signal in DKNG. So DraftKings, guys, we did see a signal in DraftKings. Sats is now down on the day, which is really interesting. It was up higher this morning. Marvell call is probably going to go to zero. Day calls, those are go quarter bid for some of these. So day, I would have to add some in a quarter. And you'll start seeing October premium. If you're long calls, you're going to be short theta, which means that every second that goes by, you're going to lose money on that time decay. But to start the day, nice profits here in DraftKings. I'm out of that trade. I sold them at 35 and 42 for $232 profits here in DraftKings. $232 in DraftKings. MSN starting to move up nicely here. I have a target 105. FXI trading here, 927, 27 and a half. FLNC, DONC, calls trading here, GameStop trading here, Place trading here. So far, guys, 2 exits so far today for profits, no entries. 2 exits today, no entries. MSN selling off a little bit. HIMS up a dime. Glow higher. Uber off the highs. Marvell is lower today. NVIDIA up a quarter. SMCI down. SOXL up. Tesla up another $7. That's crazy. Futures up 9. CRC on fire up 87 cents. I have a position in the CRC calls. I'm a 360 offer on those. So far today, guys, all I've done is I've sold DraftKings calls for profits. I have some bids in under the market at FLNC, D-low, but taking nice profits here to start the day in DraftKings. Yeah, I am a long a structured note in Penn. I put a lot of my money in a Penn structured note. Meta calls being bought the 540s. Something like Meta that's, $240,000 of premium. You got to always compare that versus how much stock trades in a day. So you always got to compare that versus how much stock in the day. More stock that trades in a day, the worse the signal is. We want, if we have a trade that controls, 100,000 shares of stock, that's going to be a lot more than a stock like Meta. So we don't really see unusual option activity in Meta, in Apple, in Tesla. I actually look to play Tesla to the short side usually when they hits one of my scanners because it's not performed well in the past. But patterns recognition, that's how I trade. And, it sometimes is weird for me to say that I'm a multimillionaire from trading, but I am a multimillionaire from trading. And that's from being on the trading floor. And now I just teach people how to trade. I've been doing this for 23 years. And it's unbelievable, incredible to think that how long I've been trading for, but I love it, and I'm going to do it every single day. Marvell down $1.54. MSM, I have an offer out. MSM's ATR is $1.90 a day. Moderna calls being bought. These are 10-18, 65s. Moderna down to $65. Let's look at that on the daily chart. And Moderna RSI is 29 here. I actually have a structure note on this one. I hope it's not under the barrier. If there's any oversold conditions, that's the only thing I trade for technical analysis. And I want to redo my setup here. So let me get my setup going. And if there's any oversold conditions on the 15-minute bar on the RSI, we look for an RSI reversal candlestick. P&L is higher today, so that's good. And BKLN says there's an oversold condition, so there's none in there. So nothing on the RSI relative strength index. And what we look for is an oversold condition on the 15-minute bar. We look for that bull bar reversal, and that would be a signal. Today, we have no signals. Like I said, all I've taken off is DKNG. PayPal calls being bought. Rivian, October calls being bought. CRC, private target out. FLNC, bid under the market. DLO, bid under the market. CHGN, I'm probably going to have a bid under the market. Those are worth about $5. I'd definitely pay $3 for some of those. Let me make sure if I have a bid in CHGN. I do have a $3 bid, so we'll leave that in there. KWeb, 221, 30 calls being bought here. URNM calls being bought here. SMR calls being bought here. Nothing, I don't think anything's actionable today, guys. 95% of all trading is a hedge against positions. Only 5% of all trades are actually speculation to the upside or the downside. And how we surmise or guess, which ones are, as a hedge versus speculation. We can look how much stock trades in the day. We can see how much, the volume is. The higher the volume, the more interest we are. Open interest. So that's everything there. Series up $1. Series did a 10-for-1 reverse split. So if it's up $1, it's really up 10 cents. If you guys have any questions at all, please put those into the chat box while I am trading. I'm in Sweden right now. I've already worked out twice. Cold plunge, steam sauna, infrared sauna, red meditated. It's been a busy day for me so far. MNSO, guys, big order. These are October calls in MNSO. The stock is getting crushed today. I don't think these are terrible. I'm not going to take them. MNSO, OC15s, guys. MNSO, OC15s trading 40 cents in MNSO. Wow, stock is getting obliviated. ATR 87 cents a day. Standard deviation ATR 67 cents a day. MNSO, guys. MNSO. DBI calls being bought. So if you're interested in trading these, you can. I'm not taking these, but this is a signal, guys. So MNSO, these are the 10, 18, 2024, 15 calls for 40 cents. You can have your target. If you wanted to have one target at 60, one target at 80, or you can have them all at 60. What you choose to do with that, with your money, is on your own, guys. So MNSO, the 15 calls being bought. This stock is getting rocked today. MNSO, guys. MNSO, guys. October calls and MNSO, guys. MNSO, October calls being bought for 40 cents. DBI calls being bought. These are the DBI October 7s. I've seen these hit multiple times. DBO calls being bought. Buyer of DBI, 10/18, 2024. 7 calls for 40 cents. So DBI calls being bought here, guys, in DBI. So DBI calls being bought in DBI. So DBI calls being bought and MNSO calls being bought. I've not participated in either of these trades. MNSO's down so much today. I don't know the reason it's down, but the stock would really have to fire back for these to be worth money. It's also traded 3.5 million shares. So this order that we see right here, as we see right here, and we pull this up, this is a buyer of MNSO. So we see the big order right here. So buyer of 1,998 MNSO, 10/18, 2024, 15 calls were bought for 40 cents. You can take this trade if you like. You'd risk $40 per one lot to make, you could have targets at 60 and 80 or even 60. MNSO, big call buyer here, guys. But I did not take them here in MNSO. MNS. I don't know what just happened. MNSO, guys. MNSO. Okay, let's go back. And then DBI calls being bought. DBI calls being bought for 40 cents. So DBI, designer brands. We see a huge buyer of 3,013. DBI, 10/18, 2024. 7 calls were bought for 40 cents. Volume is greater than open interest. This is about a $120,000 bet in DBI. So DBI calls being bought and MNSO. I'm not going to take either of those. If you want to take them, you can get into those trades for around $40 per one lot on each of those trades. 10 contracts will cost you $400. So MNSO and DBI. MNSO and DBI. MSM now down on the day. Futures look a little bit weak here. My P&L today is pretty flat. MSN is my biggest dollar amount risk position. I put that position on Friday. Those are the MSM 10, 18, 20, 24, 90 calls for around 75 cents. So that was a trade from last week. The futures do look weak here. I've taken out profits at DraftKings. And DraftKings all the way back. I sold those, and that's why I talk about having offers out. It's always good to have offers out. And in DraftKings, I sold them at 35. I sold them at 42. And now you can see how much they've moved down since that level. And they traded up to 50 cents. So they did trade up to 50 cents, guys. They traded up to 50 cents here. And I sold them at 35 and 42. So I sold them at 35 and 42. MNSN calls were bought. 40 cents. HIMS, I would add to that position at 20. So these are HIMS, October, and I'll put this in here. I look to add a position here. I am bid for HIMS, 1018, 2024, 19 calls for 20 cents. So HIMS, I'm bid for calls, guys. HIMS, I'm bid for calls. HIMS, I'm bid for calls. HIMS, I'm bid for calls. Anything that I've put in there, you can see. Walgreens Boot Alliance down. Marvell getting crushed. D-Lo now up on the day. Those are now 10.20. I'm 10-cent bid on this. Microsoft got downgraded today. So I've not taken a new trade. In theory, if I sell a trade, then I am taking risk off the table. That means I'd be less long. I always have long positions on. I always have short positions on. I'm no longer long DraftKings. So I'm no longer long DraftKings. I'm no longer long DraftKings. DKNG. You can get those MSM calls at 75 cents if you like them right now. They trade up to $1. MSN International Direct has traded 19,000 shares. And the stock is 40 cents wide. So if you like those, you can get those at 75, guys. Those are MSM. 1018, 2024, 90 calls for 75 cents. You can buy them right here, right now. There is 8 contracts offered. Newmont calls being bought, guys. Newmont 57s for this week, trading 23 cents, guys. Newmont calls being bought here in NEM. Newmont calls being bought in Newmont. Let me see if I like these. I might take $100 worth of these. Weekly calls, I don't want to be adding to them. I don't want to take a huge dollar amount risk. Newmont, NEM. I'm not going to take them here. They are interesting. I'm going to go 16 bid for 6 contracts, just in case it does sell off. Newmont Mining, guys. Newmont Mining calls being bought. Newmont Mining. 1,118. NEM 927, 2024. 57 calls for 23 cents. So Newmont Mining, guys, if you're interested in these, they hit at 23 cents. So buyer of 1,518. NEM 927, 2024, 57 calls, 23. And we can see here in Newmont, that flow is not going across, but I did see it here in Newmont, guys. Newmont mining calls being bought in Newmont. NEM, the 57 calls for 23 cents. I am 16 bid under the market. So if it sells off, maybe I'll potentially get filled in these. So Newmont mining, guys. Newmont mining. Asher. 15,000 October Asher calls getting bought. See how this one has gone. ASHR Asher, guys. ASHR, 34,000 these trade here total, guys. I'm actually going to get short Asher. I'm going to try to sell the 23-24 call spread. I can only get 34 cents. I would sell the 22.5, 23.5 call spread. That's a dollar call spread. I'd sell two of those at 62 cents. So a huge buyer, guys. This is a Chinese ETF and ASHR, guys. Asher. Asher, guys, calls being bought in Asher. Buyer of 34,000 plus ASHR 1018 2024. These are the 24 calls for 15 cents. So Asher, guys, big call buyers here. You can get these cheap if you're interested in them. I'm actually looking to take the other side of the trade. I'm actually looking to get short that trade. It has not worked before in the past. I don't think it's going to work again. But you can see this buyer here, guys. 15,000 calls. Okay, 15,000 ASHR 1018 2024. 24 calls for 15 cents. ASHR Asher, guys. Asher trading, hitting the tape here in Asher. So Asher here. And then MNSO is starting to work out here. So MNSO, guys, starting to work out here. These are the 15s in MNSO. So we talked about those in MNSO. MNSO. You could have got filled in those at 40 cents. They're up to about 50 cents. So they are up money here in MNSO, guys. MNSO. MNSO. Calls being bought here in MNSO. Marvell. Those calls are going to go to zero this week. That was a losing trade. DraftKings, 41.5. They sold as high as 42 cents. Uber down a nickel. CHGN down. That's Churchill Downs. Bid for some of those calls at $3. Biggest winner of the day is DraftKings. Biggest loser says MSM, but that's probably just a mark here. 70.85 here. I think they closed at 80 cents. Hims, I'm still in the trade. I'm actually looking to add to Hims calls at 20. I've not added at all yet. The big 20 bid. I'm not 25 bid. I'm just 20 bid. Newmont calls being bought, guys. NEM. DBI calls up a little bit here. So the 57s in Newmont, they're up to 12,000 these total. So 12,000. 12,000 Newmont calls trading total, guys. 12,000 Newmont calls trading total. 12,000 Newmont calls trading total now. 12,000 those trading total. If you have any questions, you can always put questions in the chat box. SPY at the money straddle, at the money calls, at the money puts. They're implying how much the stock can move at any time period. The 923, 569 straddle. is about a $22.30. So they're implying a 23-point move between now and the end of the day. And then between now and the end of the week, about a 60-point move. So Fed cut by half a basis point. Market didn't like it, and then it did like it, and then it didn't like it. A little this and a little that. 3 signals so far that I think are actionable: DBI calls, MNSO calls, and Newmont calls. I did not put a position on in with my money in any of these. But if you want, most of the trades that I announced, you can get in for less than $100, guys. Most of the trades I talk about, you can get in for less than $100. That's why I love trading so much. Technology has evolved. You can get into trades cheaper. New York Times trading here. October calls. I think you usually like to see a bet of a minimum of $60,000. I could set that requirement if I wanted to. When I'm trading, this is what I wear. Do 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 do. Uber up 91 cents. Sats high is lower here. MNSN kind of all over the place is an ATR of $2 a day. CHGN calls are now down. Stocks on the dollar. They're 3,530. ACMR trading here. ACMR trading. And then Asher calls. EWZ puts trading here. EWZ puts. About 1,606. $29 puts for 40 cents. Sometimes, like I said, stuffs are more exciting. Sometimes less exciting. You know, it takes one good signal. MSN starting to move up nicely here. Those are now 70.85. Verizon calls trading here. Clipped. Taken off DraftKings, so I've taken profit targets out in that. Taken off DraftKings. Other than that, I've been patient today. Lately, I've been a lot more patient than I've been trading. Sometimes it's okay to be patient. Futures moving up here. Futures are moving higher. CNC on fire here, guys. CNC on fire. I do have a position on in CRC. Sorry, CRC. I still have a position on. So I always have positions on, and options have something called a mark-to-market count. So as the stock moves up in your long calls, you'll make money. As the stock goes down in your long calls, you'll lose money. And that's going to happen all the time. So even if I don't make a trade, I can make or lose money on certain positions. So even to know if I don't make a trade, I can make or lose money on positions. So my P&L probably should be going up as the market's going higher. And MSN is starting to move up now. DraftKings, my biggest winner. CHGN is my biggest loser. Those are really wide, though. I can move my bid up to 350 here in CHGN. So let me do that. CHGN, these are December calls. These 20th, 145s. So I'm going to tell you about this one. See CHGN, 12/20, 2024, 145 calls. I am 350 bid for 2 contracts. So it'll be about $700 of risk in CHGN, guys. CHGN, I'm bid in the market. Thank you. I try to be very clear on trades, which trades I'm taking, which trades I'm not taking, why I like certain trades, why I don't like certain trades. I don't trade only sweeps. What a sweep means is they're buying them across every single exchange. Sweeps are a little bit more prevalent. It means they didn't even ask for a market. So they're sweeping them across all the exchanges. They're saying, we want this trade. FXI calls being bought, guys. FXI calls being bought. DBI calls moving up a couple pennies here. Asher calls, I'm putting it on my watch list. I'm not taking these, though. And Asher, these are the 24s. MNSO has an ATR of 93 cents a day. 2 things I always look at here is ATR, average true range, and standard deviation ATR. So ATR, average true range, is how much a stock moves on average a third of all days. Standard deviation ATR is how much a stock moves on average 2/3 of all day. And every stock is going to have a different ATR and a different standard deviation ATR. I like the bigger the ATR, the more I want to trade it. The smaller the ATR, the lower I want to trade it. New core trading here. Planeteer. Planeteer's been on fire lately. Intel's now moving up nicely here. I have 3 structured notes in Intel. Structured notes is a whole different conversation I give you. I put most of my money I have in structured notes. And now in hindsight, I should have taken MNSO. I'm actually a little bit mad I didn't. With an ATR of $1 a day, you get a whole month of those for 40 cents. So I'll put a 35 bid in the market. Maybe they go lower and I get filled at 35. And I'm going to do $200 worth of those. So maybe the only thing I messed up today, I did sell DraftKings, which was a nice sale. But maybe I should have bought those MNSO calls for 40 cents. They're up to 50, 40 to 50, 10-cent profit on 40 would be good for 25%. If I get filled at 35, I'll target at 50. Newmont, I didn't want to chase those calls, even though there may be an opportunity in those. Day up on the day. It looks like Series up 71 cents. It did a 10-for-1 reverse split, so it's really up 7 cents. Sat's down. Futures up 14. Let's look at the all-time high in the S&P 500 futures. We're getting really close to it. 57.97 half. 57.97 half is the all-time high in the futures. We're 20 points off that high. We had a huge reversal day when the market went down when Powell spoke, and the next day the futures were up 92 points. I don't know, maybe they adjusted. PLTR is on fire here. That is wild. I used to have a structured note of this, and I was getting so nervous. That stock went down to $14. It's up to $38. They have a lot of government contracts. Intel has a lot of government contracts as well. Hopefully you guys enjoying my live trading. I do this every single Monday for OptionStrat. I do run this for my own community 4 days a week. Opening bell for an hour and a half. I have not placed a new trade. I've taken profits off today. Rivian. Tesla up $10. Tesla has an ATR of 63. If it gets to an ATR of 80, I'd probably look to put on a short position. But Tesla getting back to those highs. On the Google is back to 57. I was almost going to buy Google when, oh my God, I could have bought Google at 148. Anytime any of the big cap technology stocks get to a 30 on the RSI, relative strength index, they start to move up. Delo, I'm 10-cent bid. I'm at 30. Now they're 15 bid ahead of me. Nikola calls being bought. These are OCK 11th. OCK 11, 5.5. NKLA, that did a reverse split as well. So Delo, I'm still in these at 20. I was looking to add at 10. Willy bully. Day calls. OCK 65 is trading 45 cents here, small. MSOS here. PayPal calls being sold. CHG unchanged. Marvell getting butchered here. Micron has earnings this week. If I had to play Micron, I'd play Micron to the long side. Here's a chart of Micron. Micron RSI getting to 49. Micron up $3 today. Really weird to see Micron up and some of the Marvell down. SMCI up, NVIDIA up barely. MNSO, I'm 35 bid under the market. I'm going to lower my bid to 30. The only thing I think is actionable so far today, guys, is MNSO if you took that trade. In the last couple of weeks, I've been a little bit more patient. Last couple of weeks, I've been a little bit more patient. You know, my P&L, I'd say on average, is about $1,200 to $1,200 a day. And a lot of people think trading, like you're just going to be in a trade, you're going to be out of a trade, you're going to be in a trade, you're going to be out of trade. It's not really how trading works. You know, I would say on average, I'm maybe put on 2 to 4 new trades a day. So, you know, the market's open for 6.5 hours. I'm really only making a trade every like hour and a half. I always think the most amount of trades happen in the first hour of the day. That's why I personally run the first hour of the day. CRC, ripping here. I have December calls offered out. 12/20/2024. 55 calls offered at 360. So not filled yet, but CRC, I do have an offer out. I consider this free advertising. You know, why wouldn't I put an offer out there? I think it's best to put an offer out there. CORZ trading here. FXI trading here. So we saw Asher calls, EWZ puts. CHGN now up on the day. More FXI trading here. CORZ. Glow higher, Uber higher. I have 2 watch lists on the right. Apple down. Apple down. Z Apple is down. HMY did not take anything. No. HMY did not take anything. That one had a really small ATR, so that's why I didn't take that one. It was a small ATR. A lot of Rivian calls are being acquired. CRC Music Factory. The CRC Music Factory. That's CN. That's, I don't even know what it is. Asher. More Asher calls being bought. These are the 927 calls in Asher. Asher 927 calls being bought, guys. Asher 927 calls being bought now. ASHR. Asher. Being patient here, guys. Took profits off in DraftKings. That's all I've done. So I've traded, what have I traded today? 14 contracts. CORZ trading here. DBI calls up to about 45. Sats down on the day. MNSO. I'm still bidding the market, just haven't got filled. HMY did not place a trade. CRC profit target offered out. Newmont calls were bought. I thought they were okay. P&L today barely up, but it is up. Biggest loser, CHGN. I have some December calls. If I want to add to that position, I can. They're 4 bid. I put a 350 bid in. Earnings this week in Micron. So Micron has earnings this week. $11 minutes ago, guys. 1 exit, no entries. The first part of the day. Wow, futures. We always look at the money calls, at the money puts. You can do that in any stock, any time period. So if I wanted to look at Apple at the money straddle. So Apple at the 227.5 straddle. Calls are 240, puts are 240. So it's implying about a $4.80 move in Apple between now and the end of the day. We can take that at any time period we want. So we can figure out how much implying the move can be between now and any time period. So we look at SPY because SPY does have daily options. SPY at the money straddle for today, 570 straddle, 87 cents on calls, 120 on puts, gives you about $2. So they're implying a $2 move in the SPY. $2 move in the SPY is 20-point move in the S&P 500 futures. For me to put my money to work on a trade, I've got to be pretty confident. I think every trade that I put on is going to work. XLU trading here. LUMN trading here. ARKG trading here. XLU 101882 is trading here. Small orders today. Like volume greater than open interest. Volume on contracts traded today. Open interest or how many exist before today. So like volume greater than open interest. Snow calls being bought. SMCI. SMCI weekly 445 is trading here. These are interesting. Wow, SMCI. SMCI on fire today. I'm long that one in a structured note. I'm long Intel in a structured note. I bought more Intel too. MNSO, I am bid in the market. Bid for $200 worth at 35 cents. FLNC, I'm bid in the market. CRC, I've calls offered out in the market. Day calls just went 35.60 now. They say your rent is late. They might have to pick up the gates. Don't worry. CHGN calls are a little bit wide here. Seven minutes to play. Johnson Control, June 105, trading here in JCI. Another small order. And MNSO I did not take due to the fact that stock is down so much today. So it obviously had news. Someone thinks it's going to rebound. But, you know, someone thinks it might rebound here. I am I 30 bid or 35 bid in MNSO? They paid 40. So I'm 30 bid here. If they go to 30, I have a target of 45. So MNSO, guys. MNSO. Newmont. CORZ. Any questions you have? Usually when it's slower, it's a good time to ask questions. So Newmont, I bid in under the market. I'm 16 bid. Now it's moving up again. Again. CORZ trading here. JD calls being sold. JD calls being sold. Nice trade in DraftKings. Sold them at 35, sold them at 42, traded up to 50. Now they're back down to 23 cents. I'm not looking to rebuy those. Run the trading room hour and a half a day, 4 days a week. If you're part of OptionStrat, you get it for free on Mondays through our YouTube channel. I also do a lot in Discord talking about trades. I'm going to go ahead and put some of those signals into Discord channel right now. So buyer of MNSO 10/18/2024, 15 calls for 40 cents. I am 30 bid for 6 contracts. I'm going to put that one out there. And then we have another one, buyer of NEM 9/27/2024, 57 calls for 23. I am 16 bid for 6 contracts. COP Node 125 is trading here. AK has traded 14 contracts. 14 contracts. Oil up nicely today. Let's get oil on the daily chart. Oil on the daily chart got down to 65. It's popped back to 71. Oil. Let's look at gold here. I actually sold 2 gold coins at 2,500. See where gold and silver is today. So silver future price. Silver future is 31.49. And gold is 26.40. I have another gold coin offered for 3,500 if anyone wants to buy it. HMY, nice trading. So, unfortunately, no new signals for me. A couple actionable ideas. JD Weekly 30s trading here. A lot of JD Weekly 30s trading here. Wow, look at JD. $30 seconds to play. 30 seconds to play in the period. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you liked it. My thoughts on GameStop. I'm really unopinionated in GameStop. You know, if I see order flow, maybe I take a trade. But I don't really have an opinion either way. GE on fire. All right, guys, that's it for my session today. We're part of OptionStrat. Go back to the Discord channel. You'll get a bunch of trades in there. Hopefully you enjoy this. We do this every Monday for you. If you're part of my trading room, I'll see you guys back in 5.